What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Table Podcast. On this episode, it's going to be a very interesting one. As you can see, if you're on YouTube, you can see the setup we got here.
This is a Drinking Champs episode.
Yo, so without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Caesar. Let's go. TopTierCeez, baby.
TopTierCeez, baby.
Hey, the studio audience.
We pushing P.
Hey, pushing podcast right now, dog.
Pushing podcast.
So,
Shit.
bro, let's get into it, bro. Where I met you, dog. So, how we met each other, bro, is kind of an interesting story, cause.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's like two ways you can see it.
Right.
There's the original, like the way the universe sees it, where we met like back in high school, or like we were like in the same area.
Right.
Or there's the where we actually first talked and interacted with each other.
So we went to the same high school, right? We went to Gables.
Yeah.
Did you go? You didn't go all years, did you?
I won the first 2 years,
Went
like
the
9th
first
and
2
10th
years.
grade, and then I transferred.
Yeah. So technically, by then we would have met there, but we did. I had a very.
And I don't know how we didn't though, because I remember seeing you and like seeing like our other my friend groups.
We probably had mutual friends.
Yeah, we had like a lot of mutual friends, because I remember always like seeing you and stuff.
Yeah, we had like at least in high school, my circle was very small, right? So even though we had mutual friend groups, I really only hung out with like the same 4 people.
I kind of noticed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, to me it's better like that, because it's like, at least no one knows shit on you. Like
that's true.
That's how I see
low key
yeah,
vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's the actual.
Yeah, so
like the last time we met.
We met each other probably about a couple months ago, I would say.
Yeah, it was Eileen's birthday.
Shout out Eileen, Feline. We got her on.
Yeah, shout out Fitleen. So yeah, I remember I was there, and I forgot who I had won with. I think I was there with like something, right?
Yeah,
Whatever.
right.
The thing is, I ended up there.
Yeah.
And I saw you, and in my head I'm like, bro, I know this kid from high school. I just never talked to him. So then I was like, let me approach him, And then that's when you told me that you also like watching podcasts, because I was telling you I enjoy watching podcasts.
Bro, that's a funny story, because that day I had invited, the day before that I had gone to a comedy show, right? I had gone to Akash Singh. He had like a comedy show at the Improv.
Okay, fire.
And so I had gone there, and bro, this is not like me at all, right? So that day, we were just like, me and my girl went to a comedy show. We do it often, and then that day we met this like group of people, right? And one of these guys from this group of people was this guy named Ben.
Okay.
Right. And this guy, we met him literally that day.
Okay.
Like
he was there.
Hours before. Yeah, we were probably fucked up, but he was there, bro.
I remember. I think I remember him.
So I tell him, yo, we're going to the beach tomorrow. Slide through, like, fuck it. Like, on some, like, he was, like, our age, so I'm like, yo, fuck it. Like,
yeah.
I think he's from Texas.
Okay, fire. I think I remember. He was, like, some, like, white.
Some white dude, yeah. So I was like, yo, fuck it. If you ain't got nothing to do tomorrow, we're going to be at the beach. Slide through. And I was talking to him, and then you come up, and you're like, yo, I think I remember you from high school, whatever. I'm like, you look familiar, bro.
Yeah,
I've seen you at least on social media, for sure. I've seen you.
Okay, yeah.
And then we were kind of talking, and then you asked us, oh, how do we meet? I'm like, bro, I literally just met this man hours ago at a comedy show.
Oh, yeah. And then that's how it all started. Because I like watching podcasts, but like comedy, podcasts.
Andrew Santino.
And like Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
All that
There's
shit. Theo Bond.
Yeah.
I love all that shit.
So that's kind of like the conversation that started us like knowing each other.
And then you told me like, oh, I have my own podcast and stuff. And I was like, all right, fire. And now here we are like 4 or 5 months later.
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. It's kind of weird being the guy who like I don't say it at first, right? Because you don't want to just meet somebody.
Yeah, I'd be the same way. Like when I talk to people, like they don't even know what the fuck I do.
Yeah, bro. Like, cause it's always weird. Like, even to the people who I met that day, I didn't tell them, because like now we've become closer friends. Like, there's this couple, Liz and Kevin, who we met that day, and like they've become closer friends with me and my girl.
Okay.
And bro, I don't know what was in the other day. We were just like,
everybody was on some friendly vibes.
We just got put in the same table, and we were just talking and shit. And bro, that's honestly a great way to meet people, bro. Yeah. If you go to a comedy show and they like whatever table they set you in, you talk to those people, bro. you will most likely become friends with those people just because you have the same like humor.
Yeah,
That's
true.
That's
that is
a
true.
great way to meet people, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
like same humor, same
Yeah.
interest, you know, like same.
and so they become really good friends of ours. And yeah, bro, like I don't know what was in the air that day, but we were just on some like, yo, fuck it, like whatever. And then yeah, that day we were at the beach. And then everybody get no better camaraderie gets built than with some drinks in your hand.
All right, fire.
As you can see the setup we got here.
So that leads to the next
shit.
to the next segment
Oh shit.
where we take a shot. So this shot is for finally doing the podcast.
Yo, George, let me get some cups.
It's sponsored by Don Julio.
Yo, hey.
You know, like eventually I would love to be sponsored by like random shit
Thank you,
like
sir.
that.
Get
I
the
like.
fucking New Year's cups on deck. Let's pour it up.
Oh, what type of shots are we doing?
Hey, bro. Hey, whatever you want, bro. You got it.
Decent shot.
But yeah, I'm sipping on right now some Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey cocktails.
Choose
They're
whichever
fire.
one you want.
It's a little roulette, but let's get it. And I never actually had Don Julio like that.
For real? This
Yeah,
shit,
so-
that's the best shit ever. All I drink is tequila.
Oh yeah, I gave this man some fucking Onda. Yo, that shit is fucking fire.
Oh yeah, this shit right here is fire. We're sponsored by Don Julio and Onda.
Hey,
Sparkling tequila. This shit is fire. This is my chaser.
it's good. It's good to get a little sip on that. Are you ready? Cheers, brother.
How do you
Yeah,
feel
it's
about
pretty smooth,
it?
bro.
Pretty smooth, right? It's pretty good.
It's pretty
This
good.
is the best Don Julio you can get. Añejo.
Nah, hey, I fuck with that, bro. Get a little chaser on.
It has like a cinnamon
Yeah, cinnamon.
type
Yeah.
type
Nah, it's smooth
aftertaste.
though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, cause usually you have to heal it. Like,
Yeah, you
get
take
like
it and
a
then it
burn.
just burns like a motherfucker. Nah,
Nah,
this
that's
is
smooth,
chill.
bro. I fuck with that.
Okay, so fire.
But, bro, yeah. So, yeah, what I was getting to about the you don't want to be the person who kind of plugs yourself at first, bro. Cause it's always you don't know how people are gonna act, bro, when you do that, right? So
Yeah,
if you
it comes off weird sometimes
Yeah.
too.
It-
Like if it doesn't arise from the conversation, it's
that's
weird.
the only reason I said it, because we were talking about podcasts, or whatever, and
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, I have a podcast, like I do one,
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, it's nothing big, like
Yeah.
but we
But just the
we
fact
do our thing,
doing
bro,
it is
like,
fire,
I
though.
was like, yo, cause like you, I watch a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck it, bro, I'm just gonna do one. So we ended up doing that shit, and that kind of brings me to like our next thing is you're a music producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I started, okay, so
Like,
how did I start?
No, but how do you introduce your like how far along into a conversation do you tell somebody, oh, I do music? Kind of like on that same vibe. Like how would you do it?
Yeah, like it's weird. I mean, I guess if I'm the thing is, I'm not a type of person that talks to people that I don't know.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only really talk to my friend group.
That
thing.
and that's why I feel like it took us so long to finally like.
Yeah.
finish it, like, for real.
So then, I don't know, but in a scenario where I don't know someone, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would even say something. Like,
Yeah.
it depends. Like, I mean, if they do music, then I guess so.
Yeah, you'll
but
plug it because they already do it.
Yeah, like, you know, like, I'll kind of bring it up, like, oh, this, that, whatever. But other than that, I don't really talk about it that much.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of just like. I mean, at least in social media, bro. Like that's like the best way to hear about something.
Yeah, and, like, to be honest, I kind of do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
So how did I get into it, right?
Right.
So I think I started like in 2018. So me and my friends from high school, so this is 2016, 2017, we started hanging out because we would just kind of play like Xbox or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So we would talk, whatever. So we started hanging out. So we would go to these random places like, okay, today we're going to go bowling. Today we're going to go random shit,
Yeah.
whatever. On our way there, so we would all link up in one house, drive to the place, right? So on the way there, they would play instrumentals and just start freestyling. So everybody would just start
Okay.
like you know, like random,
Yeah.
whatever. But I fucking suck ass
At
at
freestyle?
freestyling. Like I fucking blow. So when they would rap, I would be doing like their ad libs and shit. Like I wouldn't be rapping.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever. So then it eventually led to them being like, oh, like fuck it, like what are we gonna do today? Okay, let's record some shit.
Yeah.
Like whatever. So then we're like, all right, fire, bet we're gonna record some shit. This is like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
So this is when like all like the SoundCloud rappers were blowing up and shit.
Yeah. Like
So we were all kind of like, yeah, like boom, we're gonna do this shit, boom, whatever. So then we pulled up to my friend's Brandon's house, And we're there. We set up the computer. We're recording. My brother had bought some like mics and stuff for like some YouTube videos he wanted to do. So then we used that for that. And then I was like, you know what? What if I make the beats that they rap on?
Okay.
So then one day we're at my friend's Chi-Chi's house, and my boy Omar had just bought like the MacBook with the touch pad thing that had just came out. And he was like, oh, this thing has GarageBand, and I had never heard about it at the time. And then I tried it, and bro,
that's it.
the next day, I was like, bro, I have an Apple computer. They didn't even know this shit existed.
Yeah.
Boom, start making beats on GarageBand. Then eventually it led to me buying Pro Tools or Logic Pro
That's
X.
like the main program.
That's like the Apple only
okay.
thing to make beats. I think it's like $200 or something. So whatever, I bought Logic. Started making beats on Logic. 6 months later, I saw Metro Boomin was using FL Studio. So then I started learning about the other programs. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, let me buy this other one because it seems better. And then I've been using that one since like 2018. And then I feel like progressively I get better. But you know, it's like, I don't know. Like, I do it for fun. Like,
of course.
You know.
I mean, yeah, bro. That's like with anything. Is like the more you do it, the better you get. And especially like if it's something you actually enjoy doing. Like, there's people who, I'll say creators, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who they'll do things just because it's like, yo, this is a quick like check or something, or not even a quick check. It's just like, I know how to do this, but I don't really like it.
Yeah,
but I can
make money from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like that's the wrong way to go about
things.
Bro. Because then I was telling my boy the other day, I was telling him like, yo, like I don't know how to explain it, but like he was telling me something about the music stuff, right? And this goes to anything. It applies to anything. He was telling me like, yo, like there's so many things. Like, isn't this like super hard to do? And I was telling him like, yo, as long as you enjoy doing something,
you go out of your way to learn it.
You go out of your way to learn it because you're not even thinking about like, oh, is this shit hard? Like, what is this? What is that? Like, and I feel like that goes to anything. Like even like school or like if you want to get good at, you know, like anything like stocks. Anything, I don't know, like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like if you enjoy it, you're not even thinking like, oh, I'm putting in the work or whatever. Like you're just doing it. Like you're just enjoying the process and you're learning. And I feel like that goes with anything. I feel like, you know, like people should find that thing that they enjoy doing and then, you know, like getting better. Like it comes natural. Right.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like especially, and that's not even just with creators, bro. That's just like anything you do. Like if you don't like doing it, like you're gonna be miserable your whole life.
Yeah.
If that's what you're like, especially like one thing that I'm really trying to hone in on this year is just like lock in on the things that I love doing and just doing it to the best of my abilities, right? Like whatever it is, do it at the best of my abilities and don't worry about like the obstacles. Just like cross them when you get there. You get me?
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
For me, I'm doing this podcast now in a different way that I was used to, right? So before I was doing it in a studio, and I was worried that when I was like, yo, I can't keep doing it in the studio, I was worried about like, yo, how much is this gonna like affect the quality of what I was putting out?
Right.
But I feel like at the same time, when I was in the studio, I was like, I wasn't putting as much time into it because I was like, oh, like this is all like already like I have all the tools. I'm just gonna go in there and just do whatever.
Right.
But now it's like, yo, I'm paying more attention to the little things.
Right.
And it's like I feel like that just makes it better.
Yeah, not even that, but I feel like also like just being here is like its own vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't really matter the location at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still the same people, same, you know, like.
I feel like you create your own like obstacles in your head of like.
That is true.
Like, oh, I can't get there because I need this or I need this, and it's just like, I feel like sometimes we don't really like work with like what we got, and it's like just try to get the maximum of what you have right now. You get me?
That is true. I feel like a lot of times people like, you see something, you're like, I don't know. Like what's helped me was my dad. Like he's always like snapping me out of like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like if I think that way, he's like, you know, like, nah, you gotta do that shit. Like, boom, whatever. But bro, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm lit right now.
Yeah. It's just the beginning, bro.
Fire.
But tell me about Top Tier. That's like what you and your crew kind of call yourselves, right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
tell me about that.
So how did it start? So it was if I remember this correctly.
Right.
me and my boy Gio, um, he used to go by um, Phil, and now he's 3P. He's like, he raps and shit.
Okay.
And he owns a smoke shop, Miami Smoke Shop. Miami
Shout
Vice
out.
Smoke Shop.
Shout
Plug.
out.
Shout out. So me and him just started saying like, oh yeah, that's top tier. But this is like 3 years ago or some shit. And we're just like, we use that word a lot, me and him. Like we'd just be like, oh, that shit's top tier, then whatever. So then me and him were like, oh, it'll be fire if we, like, you know how like ASAP has like,
Yeah.
you know, like the
A$AP Rocky,
ASAP Mob,
Ferg,
yeah, like the
Rocky.
ASAP Mob, and there's like ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg,
Yeah.
ASAP Bari, like everybody and shit. We're like, oh, it'll be fire if we create like our own little, like, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
on some
yeah.
fucking shit, like whatever. So we were like, okay, so then we created like Top Tier Boys and shit like that.
Okay.
And then it's like, I don't know, it's just like our friend group. It's like I guess
Yeah.
it would be like me, Fernando, Gio with a J, the other Gio, my boy Xavier, Chewy.
Yeah.
I
It's
remember
just,
who else,
it's just like
Anthony.
your crew.
Yeah, it's like our crew type shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like whatever, like, you know. And then for the longest time, I didn't know what to call myself, like as a producer.
Right.
So then I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm using Top Tier. Like on some ASAP Rocky, ASAP whatever, I was
Yeah.
like TopTierCeez.
Okay.
Because I had some friends that would call me Ceez.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, all right, fuck it.
So kind of like, tell me about so your friends rap, right? So what was what was that first moment when you were like, yo, like I'm good at this shit?
Okay, so it's weird, right? Because, all right, so the way I thought about it from the beginning was, okay, I'm going to make music and this, that. I enjoy making music, right? Like making beats or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to drop anything until I feel like I'm like decent
Yeah.
or whatever. And then whatever, so I just kept working on it, kept getting better. And to be honest, I feel like last year was the first year where I was like, all right, like fire, like
Yeah.
this will be like a cool like I feel like I'm finally getting good at it,
Right,
whatever,
right.
right? So then with my boys who've been recording, cause so my other boy that produces beats, Xavier, Flex Malik, he my boy Flex, he's been making beats since like middle school.
Okay.
So he's like good as fuck. Like I
Yeah.
call him Master Say, cause he's like my master type shit. Like this
Yo.
motherfucker knows everything about making beats.
Is this guy he went to Shenandoah, right? I feel like I know him, bro.
But
Like, I feel like he looks familiar.
Bro, but alright, so this guy is good as fuck at making beats.
Okay.
Like, bro, he can make a beat out of anything.
Okay.
Right? And then my other boy Gio, Phil, or 3P, he had been rapping for a long time too. But like in 2016, he had like a couple songs on SoundCloud that had like 100K plus
Oh,
like
shit.
listens and shit. And he was like performing with like, I think with like Ski Mask and X
Oh,
and stuff
shit.
like that, like back in the day,
Nice.
like in the same venues and shit. But then he just stopped making music. And now we're just kind of like pushing him, like, bro, you gotta fucking make some shit. We gotta boom release. Bro, let me tell you, he has like a shit ton of songs that are unreleased that are like good as fuck. Alright, so let me tell you a random story that happened to me like a month ago.
Okay.
So I was at Pilo's with my boy 3P, whatever. We're with some friends, and it's about to be 3 a.m. So everything's about to close in Wynwood. And they're like, all right, what's this thing called? They were like, do you guys want to go home or do you guys want to keep like going somewhere? Half the group was like, nah, I want to go home. The other half was like, all right, boom, like we want to keep turning up.
Right.
So we're like, all right, bet. Some girl was like, oh, Brickell, all these bars in Brickell are open till like 5. So if we want to keep going, boom, whatever. I tell my boy G, like, boom, bro, drive me, bro. I'm like lit, whatever. So he's like, bet. Boom, we pull up. We go to this place called Better Days or something. It's like a bar.
Okay.
We walk in there, and I noticed that Bad Bunny's producer is like
Oh shit.
Like,
Which
in
one?
there.
Tiny or
Nah, the other guy.
Phantom?
Phantom from Subeloneo. And I was like, oh shit, like I reckon, like, you know, like, because I like following like all
Right,
producers
of
and
course.
shit like that. So I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck, like, that's Phantom, right? And in my head, I'm like, he probably gets people annoying him and stuff. So I'm like, let me just let him
Right.
like vibe or whatever. And so I'm walking past him. I don't know, something in my gut was just like, bro, you gotta say something, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you
In
gotta
that
say
moment, like,
some
you
shit.
don't know when you're
Because
gonna
it's like
see
a
him.
bar, like it's not even like a club. So like everybody's just kind of talking. The music's like not that
Yeah,
loud.
yeah.
Everybody's just vibing. Like you could talk to
Yeah, yeah,
anyone.
yeah.
Like, so I'm there, I walking past him, and then something in my gut was just like, bro, tell him something. And I was like, yo, bro, like I was like, yo, you're this guy. He was like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, bro, I fuck with like the beats you produce, whatever. And he produced this one song that I love this beat to, like Desaparecer by Mora.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love Mora, bro. You know,
And I knew that he had produced that beat. So I told him like, yo, bro, like you were in your bag when you made that beat. Like that outro, like everything about that beat is just like top tier, like top quality. So I'm just like, bro, you went crazy with that beat. And I told him like, yo, that, whatever. He was like, thank you, boom, dapped him up, kept going. Like a minute later, he comes and he's like, bro, how the fuck did you know I made that beat, whatever. So we start talking for like an hour.
Oh shit.
His boys that were there with him, they're trying to like make him drink and stuff, but we're talking, so he's just doing the drinks, but he keeps talking to me. His boys are just like, bro, we're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like you know, like you're with this guy that you don't even know. And he was like, yeah, whatever. They give him his keys to his house. We're there, and he his friends leave, and he's like, oh, what are we doing after here? He wanted to go to 11, and I was like, bro, I'm down, bro. Let's fucking go to 11, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, yo.
This is a fire story to tell. Like, yo,
Yeah,
I
in
went
my
to
head.
11 with Phantom.
Yeah, like I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like this shit is so random. Like this is the least I expected. Like he's one of my favorite like Spanish
Right,
producers.
of
You
course.
know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like this shit is so random. I'm like, yo, if this motherfucker wants to go to 11, if he wants to go to fucking Orlando, bro, we out. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not for anything right now. So whatever, right? So we're talking, we're vibing. I introduce him to my friends, and my friends, they were like just kind of vibing. Like
Yeah,
they didn't
they're
really
like,
want to
oh,
do
okay.
nothing. Yeah, because we were already like lit from the other place we had gone to. So then I tell him like, yo, like I don't think we're gonna do anything after this. I don't know if you're down, but we can go to my whip and I'll play you some beats that I made and like some like music for my friends and shit. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. I know he was lit as fuck.
Yeah, because he said, yeah. He's
Yeah, like I know he's
like,
lit as fuck.
Like, bro, he just met you that day. And
Yeah, I know he's lit as fuck. So boom, we pull up to my whip. I'm playing him the music, the songs and shit. He's fucking with it. I notice he's lit, so I just tell him like, yo, bro, if you want, I will drop you off home. He's like, yeah, for sure, whatever. He's like, I live like 2 blocks away from here. I was like, I bet. I drive there, I pull up, I park. I notice he's lit as fuck, so in my head I'm just like, all right, let me walk him to like at least the door, like for him to like, you know, like be good. Like I wouldn't want him to just fucking like pass out in the middle of the street or some shit.
Right.
So I walk with him to his like building or whatever
Yeah.
in Brickell. He opens the door for me, so I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna say no. Like I'm not gonna walk in there, you know, like whatever. We walk in there. In my head I'm thinking like whatever, bro. Like wherever this takes, like I don't give a fuck. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm lit as fuck too. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on. We go in there, and what the fuck ended up happening? Oh, so we go up to like a little market. I got some water, some shit. Boom. I'm thinking we're gonna go to his apartment. I'm just gonna like dap him up and leave. He lets me in, and he's like, "Yo, bro, like you're privileged that I'm letting you in. I don't let nobody in." And in my head, I'm like, "Yo, like this shit is fire. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
that's like a movie, bro.
yeah, like I know he's drunk, but in my head, I'm just like, bro, whatever." And like to be honest, like he's kind of like lucky that I'm like a good person, because I feel like anybody else could have done some fuck shit. And in my head, I'm just, bro, I was just kind of like glad I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just vibing. His computer was there, and I noticed like that's where he makes beats. So I was like, yo, bro, like, do you mind if I like use it to make like a quick beat or something? He's like, bro, he unlocked it. He's like, bro, do whatever you want.
That's first of all, that's crazy, because it's like you don't know what kind of like shit he had on there, like like, unreleased shit, like.
Yeah, and in my head I was just kind of like,
that's
crazy. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, like at this point it's like 5 a.m. I'm like tired, I'm drunk, and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And then when I opened his computer, I think at the time he didn't really have like, I guess it was like a new computer, so he didn't really have much, so I couldn't really do much. But I told him like, yo, I'm gonna leave like an hour in or like 30 minutes in. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna leave. And he was listening to the beat I was playing, and then he started messing with it. So in my head, I'm like, yo, like that's fire. Like, like this is the computer he's probably made like Zafaera on or some shit like that, or La Difícil. And in my head, I'm like, yo, like this shit is crazy right now. But he's cool vibes. Like he followed me on IG and shit.
Yeah. I know a story of him from another interview that I did with John, that he said
Bro, he's cool vibes. Like
Yeah,
he's like
yeah,
a good
yeah.
person,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like Phantom is like a good ass person. Like he's like genuine. Like he's like a genuine person.
Yeah.
And I feel like he got the same vibe from me. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Right.
felt like boom, whatever. And yeah, bro, I was talking to him about some real shit, and he was giving me like advice as well. Like he's like cool. He's cool vibes. Like you know what I'm saying? Like regardless of him being lit and me being lit that day,
Yeah.
the like
It
you know
was
like
a
it was
vibe.
good
It wasn't
energy.
nothing-
It was good
nothing weird.
energy. It was good energy. But yeah, like, but I like I don't know. I feel like random shit be happening to me sometimes.
Bro, so hold on. Don't just leave me there. What happened after? He made the beat. He made the beat with your.
So we made like whatever. So I left the beat in his computer. He was lit, but I just left. To be honest, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
I don't
left,
know what the
right.
hell happened to
But-
the thing.
but
But
he
he
just-
follows me on IG and stuff, and I would love to work with him on something, but I'm kind of doing my own stuff as well.
Right.
And like I feel like if it's meant to be, like like you know, like we'll
It'll
work on
just
some
happen,
shit.
right?
Yeah, like I don't like bothering people. Like you know, like I don't
Yeah.
like people thinking like, oh, like I'm trying to gain something from them or something. So
Right.
I just let it be. You know, like I'm just vibing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good way to approach things.
But
you
at
know,
the same
'cause-
time, I do see the music stuff as kind of like I do it for fun.
Right.
Like I'm not seeking anything. You know, like anything like crazy from it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Damn, bro.
saying?
That's nuts. That's like a wild ass story, bro.
Yeah, like that's random. That's a random ass
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Like oh, being at Bad Bunny's producer's house.
And just like, yeah.
Just making a beat and making a beat, like me being a producer making a beat on Bad Bunny's computer, that's pretty crazy.
That is fucking insane.
That's pretty fire. And like the fact that like it's funny because like my you know like the YouTube top 10 plays
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, Mora is like up there, like
Bro.
like number one.
Yes.
And this guy is like best friends with Mora, so in my head I'm like, yo, this is nuts. Like this shit right here is nuts.
Bro,
Like
you
it's
know what
pretty
that
crazy.
you know what that does is like that makes you realize like what a small world it is. Bro.
No, but you know what's the craziest thing? So we can get into it later, right? But like I became a professor, right? So whatever, right? Like at a university. I'm not gonna say what
Right,
university
right.
or college or whatever, but so I became a professor. That same week, I was like, bro, I'm gonna focus on my career. I'm gonna take a break from music.
Okay.
So in my head, I was already going into it like, yo, I'm gonna take a break. Like I'm gonna take a break from music for like a year or something.
Yeah.
Like I just want to focus, like you know, like on my
On your
career, like get money, whatever. The next day, that happened to me, and it was just kind of like the universe telling me, like, yo, bro, like
keep doing this.
keep
like,
doing this, like you know what I'm saying. And then, I don't know. I feel like since then, like I've been enjoying making music more.
Right.
Like you know, like I don't go into it like.
And I'm sure the process is like a release. Like it's like a.
Yeah, for sure. And even my boy Xavier, like Flex Malik, he was telling me like, yo, once you get into producing music, you can never get out of it.
Yeah, like it's not.
Like that's always like that's always gonna be there, like as a way out of like if you want to express something or if you want to make like something. And I was like, bro, I think you're right, because
Yeah.
I've been trying to take breaks and then
You just like you
it's
go
just-
back to it.
I go back to it like regardless. So it's like a random, funny kind of
Like interaction.
not interaction, but thing that I've gotten into. I would have never seen myself because I've always been. I don't know. Like, earlier in life, I was alright in school, but in college, I've been pretty good in school. So I always thought like, alright, like I'm gonna pursue a career like in whatever I studied or whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break to take another shot.
Oh shit. Oh,
This is a
shit.
drink champs. This is a drink champs episode.
All right, so shot number 2.
Shot number 2.
Cheers, buddy. Ah,
But to be honest, I would love to be like sponsored by like Don Julio. Like let's say I was to make a mainstream producer, right?
right.
Don Julio.
Yes, sir.
I need like some like Miami ass sponsorship, like Palacio de los Jugos. I need like a
Bro.
Palacio de los Jugos fucking sponsorship.
For real, I'm looking for right now. I'm in the process, cause I'm funding. Like I'm doing this all myself, right?
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm in the process to get like local brands to like kind of like invest in this.
That'll be fire.
So, nothing has happened yet, but like I'm kind of in talks with like
I feel you.
I'm in talks right now with a Miami, like a local Miami brewery,
Okay, fire.
and then a local Miami cigar shop.
Fire.
So like that's what I'm trying to like. I'm trying to look for those kind of sponsorships, cause like
I'm trying to think what
that's
else I would love to be
that's like what
sponsored
we
with.
like kind of like just.
No, yeah,
chill.
for sure.
Especially like you know, it's a domino table.
Bro, if
you
I
know,
was a
like,
Don Julio sponsorship, bro, I
Hey,
will,
dog.
bro, like that's like my goal in life, head ass. Nah, like Don Julio, What's some Miami ass shit? I don't know. I feel like Palacio de los Jugos is like the most Miami shit. Like,
bro,
like
give me
a Cartier sponsorship.
if let's say if damn hey. Speaking about car, you're a pretty swaggy dude, bro. I gotta give you your props. You're a pretty swaggy dude, bro. You came with the Louis Vuitton.
No, I just be
shades,
vibing.
I always see you with the Cartier.
Yeah, bro, that shit's crazy. Okay, so wait, so what other sponsorship? I'm trying to think what other sponsorship will be fire.
Yo, I
like,
gotta get me a.
I want to have like random sponsorships. Like, all right, boom, Don Julio, Cartier.
You know what my ideal sponsorship
Palacio
is?
de los Jugos.
You know what my ideal sponsorship is?
Presidente.
A fucking Mary's Coin Laundry sponsorship. I need that shit. I need a pan con
be
bistec now.
Every day.
Hey, dog.
It's like, what you eating today? Pan con bistec. Like,
Bro,
happy as fuck. Like, a
Mary's,
happy ass
boy.
sponsors. Happy ass sponsorship.
Okay, so fucking Ricky Bakery sponsorship, bro.
Okay, so going back to what I was saying before, right before the shot. So, okay, so I went into college kind of thinking like, all right, like I'm gonna go, you know, like I'm gonna focus, whatever. But throughout the journey, I was enjoying it, you know, like I was meeting a lot of people, and like I became like really cool friends with like a lot of people. First semester, I speak with my advisor, and she goes through my transcripts, and she's like, yo, like I don't know if you know this, but you already have like 16 credits. Like I had already done a lot. So she told me like, okay, like these are the courses you already have, boom, whatever. So whatever, I started university or college fall 2016, fall 2017 I was done.
In a year, bro.
In a year, yeah. So I had just turned 18. So then I was 18, I graduated from Miami-Dade with my associates, and then I go into 2017, I go into FIU. There, I enjoyed it more. Like FIU was like my favorite experience from going to like university or college or whatever. And there I met this girl called Andrea. She's like one of my closest friends. And she's cool because I went to FIU and I didn't really know anyone because my friends were still at Dade. And I met her my first semester, and she just kind of like showed me around and introduced me to everything and whatever, right? And so spring 2018 I started. I graduated summer 2019. But that summer I wanted to finish then. So I think I took like 6 classes like that one summer.
I've done it.
So I went crazy. That shit is
crazy.
crazy. Like you're just kind of like back to back to back.
Bro,
to
you
back
have
to
no
back
time
to
for
back
anything
to-
else, bro. Like it's really like I know what you mean.
In my head I was just like, yo, I'm finishing this. Boom, whatever, I graduate. In my head I was thinking like, all right, I'm gonna start working, whatever. But then my dad was kind of like, you gotta do more, like, you know, like you could do more, like school wise. So I was kind of like, nah, I don't really want to. But then he was just kind of like, you should, like, you know, like he was like talking me, like whatever. He's like my mentor.
Yeah.
So then I was just kind of like, all right, like I'll do a master's, whatever. So then I started going to American University, like in Washington D.C.
Nice.
Which
you moved over there.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Which is like that school is like the main. It's like for Washington D.C.
Right.
But for economics. So like that school is like good for economics.
That's what you were studying.
Yeah. And I went there, but then the whole COVID stuff happened. So then I kind of came back, and I was just here. So whatever, I graduated when I was. So with my bachelor's, I graduated when I was like 19.
Okay.
I turned 20 like the month after that. And then it took me like a year and a half to finish my master's or something like that. And I graduated like last May. So I was 21. I don't know. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like as I was going through these like things, I never thought about like this is pretty crazy or whatever, right? Like I'm just kind of there.
You're just doing it. Like,
Until this day, I just kind of see it as something just humans do. Like, you know, you're just supposed to do this or do that. So I just see it as normal. Like, till this day, I just see it like, okay, like, I was meant to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I did it fast or whatever, like, I was meant to do it. Like, whatever. So, yeah, and then it's funny because throughout this whole process is when the whole music stuff happened. So I was kind of learning economics and how to make music, like, at the same time.
That's when you were here, right? Like, you were
yeah.
doing it?
And to be honest, I was only there for, like, a semester. And then I came back because the whole COVID stuff happened. And then...
But you were doing online or you were just...
Here online, yeah. I was doing like online. Like they transferred me to like the online. And then what was it like in the summer or something like that, I was kind of oh, like I didn't know because so my specialty is like econometrics, like when it comes to like studying. So like I'm good at creating models, like to
Okay.
predict stuff. Like econometrics is studying data.
Gotcha.
So it's all about like creating models to like predict stuff. So like for example, like one project that I did, I predicted who was gonna win the world, like not the World Cup, the Copa America, which is like a
Yeah.
Spanish thing.
Yeah.
Like the course started at the same time the tournament started, and I told my professor like, okay, like all we had to do for that elective economics course was just one project. And I told him like, oh, I'm gonna predict like who's gonna win. And he was like, all right, go ahead, like whatever. I did the whole project like in a week. Like in a week I was done with the
Right.
whole class. That was a semester I graduated, and I kind of presented it to him as if I was kind of still working it throughout the semester, so he didn't know I finished it. And so whatever, the semester finishes on a Friday. The Sunday was like the final. So the Sunday of the final. So as the class is going through,
Right.
everything that I had predicted was going as I predicted on the model,
Okay.
right? Friday the class ends. Sunday the final is, and it's just two teams that I had predicted were gonna be in the final. The team that I predicted that was gonna win wins.
Okay.
The professor emails me and he's like, "Yo, I should have bet on what you like on your
Yeah.
project or whatever." And then once I did that in my head, like I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna finish my bachelor's and I'm just gonna focus on creating models. Like, I would love to do models to predict games. Like I feel like that would be
Right.
fun. But you can create models for anything.
Hey, bro. Hey, in the future, we're trying to get into sports gambling as soon as it becomes legal again.
Uh-huh.
Because Florida's going through a whole thing. Hey, bro, if you want to do a segment on
That would be cool.
on
That would be
gambling,
fire.
on sports gambling, let me know, bro, because we'll set that shit up right now.
That'll be fire. Because the thing is this, so whatever, I created a model, predicted like the winner of the tournament. But then that works with anything. Like you can
Right.
predict if a stock is gonna go up or down. So it's funny because I did my master's, and then in my master's I took like four more econometrics courses, and I became even better. Like I
Right,
learned
right.
more stuff about it, and I feel like now I can do even like crazier stuff. So like for example, like, I could predict if a stock is gonna go up or down.
Hey, bro, we gonna need you, bro.
So you know what I'm saying? So in my head, I always told my dad like, oh, like the way I see it is like school is not necessary, but because school like all right, graduating is just a way to prove like okay, this individual is able to go through all these levels, and like his brain capacity can go through this.
Right.
So when you go and apply for a job, they're just not hiring anyone. They're like, okay, like this person,
like,
he's
he can
capable of
learn.
passing all.
Right.
Yeah, he's capable of learning like
Whatever
this
we're
level.
doing.
Yeah, like this level of understanding or whatever. So from that point of view, like I understand going to school or whatever. Technically, you could learn whatever you want by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Especially now, bro. Like YouTube,
Everything
YouTube
is
University
accessible.
is a real
Bro,
thing.
everything is accessible on the internet. So the thing is like, okay, so like in my case, I feel like I'm glad I went through like the process that I went through with school, because if not, I would have not learned about this.
Right.
So econometrics is like using data to create models, but through coding. So you have to code like everything. And it's like I think it's the hardest course in economics, but it's like my favorite.
Right.
So in my head, like, okay, so I finished my bachelor's and I was telling my dad like, oh, like I just want to focus on doing models, and bro, I can be like rich off of doing this shit. But then I feel like my dad always sees like the bigger picture, even in the moment. So he was telling me like, oh, like keep going to school. So then it's good that I kept going because I learned more stuff. And eventually I want to go back to that. But then, okay, so I was kind of like working on that stuff. And then one day I was just kind of like, oh, like I've always wanted to like be like a professor, like
Yeah.
teach others what I know. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I focus very well on school to the point where like
You understand it well enough.
I understand it well enough for like, and it's funny because even when I was going to school, I don't know, I feel like I'm like a good person. So like when I would see somebody struggling, I will try to help them out. Like if
Right,
like
right,
like a peer, like a student, like if I will see them struggling. For example, there was once this lady, she was like probably like in her 40s, right?
Yeah.
And we were taking like a stats class. And this lady just came to me. She was like, yo, look, like, I've taken this class 2 times already. If I fail this thing one more time, like, I don't think I can take it again.
Right.
Or they're going to make me pay double or something like that. I told her, like, yo, don't worry. Like I'll tutor you so you learn whatever. Long story short, she ended up passing the class.
Yeah.
So I've always done stuff like that. Like, whenever I
Right.
see somebody struggling, like, I want to help them. And it's funny because all these people always end up telling me, like, yo, like, you taught me the class better than the professor did. And, like, at the time, I was, like, what, like, 17, 16? So in my head, I'm not really thinking much of it. So, whatever. So, like, a couple months ago, like, towards the end of last summer, I was just kind of like, oh, like, let me see how it would be if I wanted to apply to be a professor. Not thinking really much of it, to be honest. So I applied. 2 months later, they called me for an interview. And I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. I go through the whole interview, and as I'm doing the interview in my head, I'm like, yo, like, I think I'm doing really good. Like, I think, like, you know, I might actually get this.
Yeah.
Like, a month later, they call me back, and they're like, oh, like, you're hired. Like, do you accept? Like, boom, whatever. And, yeah, like, I accepted. I did the whole, like, all the documents and stuff like that. And then this semester, I started teaching economics, like, to university students. And I love it. Like, it's, like, so cool. Because, like, I feel like, especially the stuff that I'm teaching is, like, principle stuff. So it's, like, super, like, easy to me. So I feel like I'm able to translate everything, you know? And, like, for example, last class, I had some, like, student kept asking me, like, oh, professor, but how do you do this or how do you do that? And then just being able to explain
like,
things through, like, you know? And then at the end, I'm being like, thank you. Like, yeah, now I understand. Like, I don't know, I feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. It's like serving others feels good. Like,
yeah. And then, like, I want to do so many things in life. But I tell my dad this too. Like, I'm like, oh, like, I feel like no matter how much I do, like, no matter how much money I make in life, I eventually always want to teach. Like, I always want to be a professor. Like, I always want to. Eventually, I would love to, you know, like, be like a Harvard professor. Like, I feel like that would be cool. But yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, it's weird because, like, as an individual, like, me as a person, I feel like people look at me and they don't think, like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that smart shouldn't be wearing a Von Dutch hat or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see me and I'm just a normal person. But I don't know, I feel like I'm like a normal.
Bro, how have you gone through that barrier, though? Because you're pretty young, bro. Like, you're like imagine a 20, you're what, 22 now?
I just turned 22, yeah.
A 22-year-old professor, bro. And you have students who are older than you. Like, how do you get over that barrier of, like, yo, like, I'm teaching you
People ask me that, and the way I see it is just kind of like
obviously you have a higher level of expertise in that field than them.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, growing up, my whole life, I've always been younger than everyone.
Right.
So I just kind of grew up to the point where, like, my main trick to never be, like, set back, because I feel like, okay, so my main trick to never be set back was always never say my age. Because if they don't know my age,
yeah, you can get
I could be 24, I could be 25, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
So my main trick was always like, okay, never tell, like, the professors or my peers or anybody my age. Because then, you know what I'm saying, I'm just a normal student.
Right.
So that was always my number one thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point of me telling people, like, oh, I'm 18, 17, 19, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I never really said my age. And I feel like that helped me. There was a semester where a professor found out how old I was, and he made my life hell.
Oh, man.
But I still, you know, I ended up passing the class or whatever.
How did he make your life hell?
Because I feel like, bro, like, it was weird. Because he got, like, really cool with me. But to the point where he thought, like, he could joke around with me. So, like, I would be in class, and we'll be coding or whatever, right? And my computer will, like, the fan on my computer will start going off. So he'll just be like, oh, tell your daddy to buy you a new one. And I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? We could throw hands right now. Like, yo, you're weird, tripping, bro. Like, you're tripping. Bro. So I was just kind of like, yo, like, this is crazy. But at the end of the day, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's funny, though, because I've always dressed like, for example, I will go to classes and I'll have students that will be, like, older than me, and they will go with, like, suits, whatever, right? Because we're all studying economics or finance. Like, if you're studying economics, you're either doing economics or finance. So they're working, like, at corporations or whatever. So students will come in suits and this, that, whatever. And then there's me. Every class I will just come in with shorts, a hoodie, and, like, sneakers. So a professor will see me the first class and he'll be like, yo, like, this guy's probably, like,
Yeah, like he's
dumb,
not,
like he's
yeah.
at it, you know, like he's
They
not.
start already making up like
Yeah, like
stereotypes
assumptions.
in your
Yeah,
head.
like this, that, whatever. And then I'll be the student that'll end up doing like the best in their class.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like in a sense I'm like a mix of both. Like I know I'm smart and stuff like that, but I'm like a very like outgoing person, especially now. Like before I wasn't like that. I was very like closed off and like shy in a sense.
Yeah.
But the older I get, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Like the more outgoing I become.
Right. Bro, so let me ask you, like, what do you hope to accomplish now? Like, cause for your age, you've outdone yourself in terms of your age, but like it's a different like. I feel like once you graduate high school and college, it's different. It's not like you don't say your achievements for your age. You say your achievements for your life. Like, what do you want to accomplish? So what's next for you, bro? Like, what do you?
You know what's funny? So I always like when I was in FIU, I would always hang out with this girl, Andrea, and she would like see me, and she's older than me, but she would always kind of like ask me for advice or like whatever, right? So she would always be like, what do you always hope for, right? And it kind of all ties in to what I was saying earlier. Like I feel like my main goal in life is just always being happy. Like I feel like as long as I'm happy and like whatever I'm doing like is making me happy, like I don't care like about anything else, right? So she would always ask me like, "Oh, Caesar, like how do you feel that whatever?" And I would be like, "Happy." You know what I'm saying? Like another thing, like I feel like I always went to like I always go into everything just saying like, "Okay, I'm gonna try my best." And then even if I fail, as long as I know I did my best,
you're good with that.
I don't give a fuck if I failed or not. Like I know I gave it my all. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's a way you should go like into thinking about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as I know I tried my best, I'm cool with myself.
Yeah, like I know exactly what you mean, because like if you don't, I feel like it eats at you. Like, oh, like I didn't even go 100%. Like I went like whatever. But and usually when you do go your best, there's never a time where you fail.
Right.
Just because you put everything you had into it.
Right.
So it's like, even if you do, it's like, all right, well, I couldn't have done any better.
Right. And I don't know, it's weird because I feel like ever since I was a kid, I've always thought like, in a sense, kind of high of myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was always shy, like being younger and stuff like that, I always thought like I don't know, it's weird because coming from Peru, like nobody fucked with me here, right? Like when I was like growing up or whatever. My one close friend that I had, he was this Colombian dude. Like in middle school, I met him like in 7th grade. So we were close. Like I would go to his house. Like he was like my only real friend. Like back in like 2017 or whatever, he ended up going to jail, like for a long. Like he's gonna be in jail for like a long ass time, right? And it's weird because it's like, damn, like my only, like this is like the only friend that has ever met my family and everything. Yeah, and it's just weird because it's like my only close friend that I've ever had, he's not there anymore. So then that's why it's kind of cool that I met these other friends, because it's just like, okay, like,
it's a different path that you went on.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like cool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like got to know people that I actually, you know what I'm saying? Like see as like my, you know, like my brothers type stuff. And like it's funny because they're like my friend group, they're all like into different stuff. Like my boy Fernando, he designs, he does like all this stuff, whatever, right? Before. Gio, he designs, he does all this like boom, whatever. And they're all like, it's funny because they're all talented as fuck. Like they're all talented as fuck.
Like they do dope ass like.
Yeah, like they're all talented as fuck. My boy Gio, he raps, he owns a smoke shop. You know, like he's like into his business stuff. My boy Xavier, fire ass producer. Like everyone, like, you know, I feel like every one of my friends,
on their own like thing.
Like they're all on their own thing doing like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I love that because I feel like talking to them, like my friend group, and they're all wise like on everything. Like you can talk about any conversation, everything, and you can just talk for hours about whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's cool. And like, okay, so going back to like your original question, so doing so many things now. Okay, so like having accomplished all this now, I feel like, okay, like in my head, I'm just like, okay, I did the school part. So technically what I was supposed to continue was to do my PhD.
Right.
Like I was supposed to do my PhD. Technically, I was going to do my master and my PhD at the same time. And I was probably going to graduate, I probably would have graduated like in a year or two. But in my head, I just didn't see that path for me. Like I told my dad, like, oh, I'm cool finishing up to my master's, but like I know if I'm smart enough to do all this stuff in school, I'm gonna be smart enough to do all these things like in real life. So I feel like now I'm in the path of like I want to be like Elon Musk's type shit. Like I want to be like the richest person alive. Like I want to do so many things. And right now I'm working on like getting into like different businesses and stuff like that.
Like as an investor or as like a
Not like my own like
your
stuff.
own?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And like all the schools that we had in Peru and stuff like that, I want to find a way to transfer them here. Because my mom has like all the licenses for that.
Oh, nice.
And like, bro, like it's so many things that I want to get into. Like music, I want to create like a music studio. And it's funny because I had posted a beat the other day, and 21 Savage producer DM'd me. He was like, "Yo, this shit is fire." I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like that shit is so random,
Like
right?
your life is just like, yo, like
Yeah,
it's
like-
like throwing shit at you, like, yo.
Yeah, like random, right? So 21 Savage producer DM'd me. He's like, "Yo, like this beat is fire," and I'm like, "Yo, like thank you, boom, whatever." And I was like, "Yo, I didn't even think you were gonna like see that shit, right?" Like I tagged him, but I didn't think he was gonna see it. So he's like, "Yeah, no, whatever." He's like, "Oh, send me melodies, like boom, whatever. We can collab on some like beats."
Yeah.
So I've been sending him melodies and stuff like that. So who knows, you know, maybe there's like
Yeah,
a TopTierCeez 21 Savage song.
That's fire.
somewhere along the line. So what I want to do, it's I would love to have a song with Kodak Black. So, but what I want to do right now is I also want to open like a studio. Cause I know so many people, like, you know, like I even told Bad Bunny's producer, I was like, "Yo, like I'm thinking of opening up a studio soon. I would love to have you there for free. Like I'm not even gonna charge you, just use it." He was like, "Yeah, bro, for sure, whatever." So I know, like, once I open that studio up, I'm going to be able to like have it packed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want to create like a premium studio, like not like
Yeah.
like you know like not no like whatever. So I'm like working on all those things, but at the same time I have the whole thing of being a professor. So it's like a bunch of things, and I've like and I've started going to the gym hard like in the past like month.
We be out here.
Yeah, we be out here. So now, like, bro, it's like so many things, just balancing life, and but I'm happy though. Like, I'm happy with the way everything, you know, like, is going and working out in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm busy. Like, I'm very busy, and that's why, like, I like to take like, okay, so I go crazy like Monday through Friday, just focused.
Yeah.
And I like to take like my Saturdays or Sundays just to like vibe out.
Yeah. I mean, shit, we appreciate
like right
you
now,
coming out here, bro.
Like right now, I'm just vibing out.
I appreciate you, bro.
I need a Pillow sponsorship. I'm going to Pillows after this.
Hey. But bro, just want to thank you for coming on, bro. Like you really like. We didn't know how this was gonna go, but it went in a way that I completely feel awesome about it, bro. Like
I feel you.
And we just want to thank you for coming on. If you want to plug anything you have, bro, or you just want to give a message.
Shit. A message. So I don't know. I feel like, bro, people are so stuck in social media or like shows and stuff like that. I feel like, bro, like there's always gonna be something new. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I feel like now everybody's caught up on like, I don't know, like Euphoria or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh my God, I love this guy," or guys are like, "Oh, I love this girl," or, "Oh no, whatever." But there's gonna be another show, whatever. Like, bro, focus on like what's real. Like, focus. Like, I feel like I don't know, like, bro, like so many people get caught up on like the
offline,
fake
bro.
stuff. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Or like so many people get caught up on like social media or like, "Oh, I don't get this many likes," or "I don't get this, that, whatever." Like, I feel like, yo, like, life is gonna pass by, and then, you know what I'm saying, shows are gonna keep coming, social media stuff is gonna keep, like, trends are gonna keep coming, and bro, like, the more you get caught up on that, the more further back you're gonna be set in life, because eventually you're gonna figure out like, yo, like that shit was for nothing, and now I'm like fucked, you know what I'm saying? So like I feel like, bro, like focus on real life, set goals, and like stick like through them, and always try to achieve more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like even if you achieve a goal, like let's say like, okay, like you're like, okay, my goal this year is to do this, that, whatever, right? Or maybe my goal in life is to do this, that, whatever. Like, for example, for me, my goal was like, okay, I'm gonna finish school. I finished that, right? So now I'm like, okay, what's my next goal?
Right, like you move the goalpost back. Like
You always gotta push your
Yeah.
goals, because I feel like if you get stuck on one goal, or if you achieve that goal and you become like
you become stagnant, bro.
yeah, like
you
complacent
become,
on what you did.
Yeah,
That's bad. Like I feel like, you know, like
you're not
that's the
reaching
main
your potential.
thing. Yeah, like you just gotta, bro, always set new goals. Always try to push yourself to do more, and focus on what's real. Focus on
Yeah.
real life.
Well, bro, I appreciate you, bro. I thank you.
For sure.
For those listening, you guys can catch this show on YouTube. For those watching, you can get this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure you go check out my boy Caesar with the Don Julio out here. And yeah, without further ado, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, follow us on social, and see you guys next time.
Peace out.